Hi, I'm Wanda with Jimmy Branch Homestead, and today I'm going to continue working on my chicken hoop coop. It will be a coop and a run. The coop will be, if you haven't been watching, 8 by 8, and the run, I think it's another 8 by 8. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So yesterday I didn't film it all when I was working on it. I didn't have that long, and I just wanted to kind of finish up some stuff that I was already working on in part 3, which I already showed you how I did. And so I did this last quarter panel, putting it on yesterday, the hardware cloth and above the door, so that, excuse me, so that when I get the doors put on, this coop will be secure, and will keep out the rats. It will keep out the raccoons. We have a lot of predators here. Coyotes. I had coyotes attack my other hoop coop, and luckily I had the hardware cloth at the bottom. But my last hoop coop I built with chicken wire over the top and only hardware cloth on the ends and 2 foot on the bottom. That did keep the coyotes from getting in, but honestly, if a raccoon attacks that, they can go right through chicken wire. They can tear it up pretty quickly. So I decided on this one, and any future ones I build, I'm going to put hardware cloth over the whole thing. I really want it to be secure. And at some point, I will have to go back and put hardware cloth on the other one. That's a pretty big one. It's a 8 by 12 coop and a 17-foot run, so it's going to take a lot of wire. So I'm not doing that this year. I need to get this coop ready because I have chicks in the incubator, and they are going to go in here instead of in the brooder. So I'll still have to put the heat lamps and everything on them, but that way I don't have to put them in the brooder and then transfer them in here in the late fall, early winter. So I got this end done, and then I will take you to the other end and show you what I've started. Okay, so at this end, this is the coop end. I'm going to start at the coop end and work my way all the way down through the run. Again, I want to make sure I get this coop done because in less than 2 weeks, my chicks are going to be hatched out, so I need a place to put them. And this time, I've learned some things from the last hoop coop that I thought would be improvements. So I am putting the hardware cloth out about 6 inches beyond the coop. And what that will do is when I put the tarp on, it will keep water from going down inside the wall. The first time I just did it with the tarp right to the edge, and when it rained, guess what? It got the coop wet inside because water went down at that very edge. So to fix that, when I replaced the tarps on the other one, I did fold them and bring them out up past it so that it's not leaking anymore. But for any future coops, again, live and learn. You always find ways to improve. And this is what I came up with this. And it will also help to keep water from running down the wall of the 2x4s and that kind of thing. Now, I threw this over. It's fastened along the bottom on the other side, but it's not fastened all along the top, nor is it cut off. And the reason I have not cut this off yet is I need to work my way in fastening it to it from the one side or end to the other side to keep as much slack out of that as I can. And so I'll take you to the other side and show you what I'm doing there. Okay, so I had the wire start down on the ground. This is for a built-in predator guard. Stapled it along the base. I really wanted this flattened, but I couldn't seem to get it flattened to be able to do that there, so I cut it here to make sure that rats cannot get in here, because rats can wipe out a chicken house very quickly. And then what I am currently doing is putting the zip ties, just kind of looping them through over the bar where I want to suck it in, because obviously I can't reach through now to go ahead and fasten it. So what I'm doing is I'm putting these through so I can go inside and then suck those down. But I'll have to do that in sections. So I'm going to do just a couple more over there, and then I'm going to go inside and pull these all tight before I can move on. Okay, this is what it looks like from the inside. You can just see these are through where I can get the ends, and then I'll pull it tight, and then I will fasten it and put one inside the other and see how much tighter it will pull this. And I'll do that as I work all the way across the top and over to the other side. So I'm not going to film all that because it's pretty tedious and it will just take a lot of time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Well, that took me quite a while to do. It would go pretty fast if you have 2 people, but doing it by yourself, it is much slower. It's much harder trying to get those up through and push the wire and pull the wire. But anyway, and then at the end, Wade come and help me so that I could get it tight down at the bottom on the other side here. So all these tags are the ones that I just put on here. And I'll, of course, come back and cut all these off. And one thing I wanted to point out, I always loop them through and make sure that this little nub here, the lock part, is on the bottom. So instead of the top, to make sure that it's nice and smooth, you just have the tape part, this kind of part at the top, so that when I put the tarps on, these nubs aren't wearing through the tarps. So that's real important. And some of them loosened up as I continued to tighten some, so I'll come back and tighten them before I cut them off. But I'm not going to do that right now. So Wade came and helped me. Of course, we did the top all the way down. And the next row will overlap a few inches with this one, just for security. And to make sure that it's all done very tight. So let me take you on the outside now and show you where we are with that. Okay, so on the outside, Wade helped me to zip tie around the bottom to get it as tight as possible. And then I took a board here, set it here, and whacked it good with the hammer all up and down it a couple times. And that is to flatten it out here. So now on these 2x6s, I can go back and staple it in with the gun here and make sure that's good and secure. Now we're not cutting that off yet, and I'll show you why in a few minutes. Okay. Again, I'm going to alternate from inside and outside, pushing in to make sure it's in as far as I can get it. And we're going to do this every few inches, not too far apart, because we don't want predators to be able to pull those out. Okay, so now that I got that stapled down to hold it in place, I'll have to come back and do some cutting like I did on the other side to bend that and to cut some out. But I'm going to move the stuff here and roll this out further. What I'm trying to do is with each layer, build in my predator guard so I don't have to come back and do the predator guard. If it's too hard, I'll just go back and run the pet predator guard, but I want to come out about 2 feet. So I'm just going to kind of use this as a guide. And it needs to go down the board first. So I'll have to bend it again. And then it'll come out this way. Now, let me just try the board here again. There. If I can bend it at the top here first. Get that bend going. Okay, I'm going to have to work at this a little bit. So I'll catch you back here in a few. Okay, so I'm starting to get it bent down. As I do, I'm going to go ahead and try and staple the top rows and just keep working it down. Somebody stronger, it would go much faster and easier. Okay, I'm just going to keep working this down, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so I did cut over there. There is a lot more give. The bending is going much better, but I forgot to go back and weed eat. I did this a few days ago, but then I wasn't able to work on the project. So I come back and weed eat it up against the board where the wire is going to be stapled, and also where I'm going to lay it down. It'll just make it cleaner for me to be able to get that tighter. So I'm going to go ahead and weed eat on around on both sides. Hopefully my weed eater will last that long. It's battery operated, so it doesn't last long, and so we can move forward. I want to get that wire just as tight as I can down to the bottom of that board. Okay, so I do have it all stapled on the board and just kind of laid out here. You can see it's not stapled to the grass yet. So I really want to just get this coop done, and then I can worry about coming back and adding those lawn staples. I already have them, and I'll show you later what they look like. But so that is the first layer, and it only gets harder from there in the middle because you can't really reach up, especially where I've got, these were used, so some of them, they all had like a layer of chicken wire on them. So I took them off of the run part But here in the coop, it's really not going to show, so I just left them on. But it's just that much more to have to work around. Okay, I'm going to go in and let the camera cool off and get a bite to eat. So these are the garden staples that I use. I just get them from Home Depot by the big box. There's 500 in this box. They are cheaper that way, but they are pretty expensive to buy that much at once. And then I just use a hammer and hammer these in the ground. I decided to go ahead and do this because, well, I'm a klutz and I don't want to hurt myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in the ground. Having trouble getting them in. We have so many rocks. Just bends them. Okay, I gotta get the next roll of wire opened and unrolled. I mean, just get it started. Wade's gonna come help me roll it over. Well, Wade just helped me get the second row on. I forgot to turn the camera on. But we're having trouble with the stapler. It totally quit. So we're gonna quit for the day, not for the end of the video, just for today. And go get another one. Well, it is the next day, and we ended up having to go yesterday afternoon to Harbor Freight and get a new air tool because the other one just wasn't working. You'd press it and it would not staple. So my husband's going to take it apart and play with it when he has time. But this one seems to be working perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stapled down. Okay, Wade said I turned down the PSI too low, so now we got it working again. I was panicking. Okay, I was actually able to get this strand over by myself, so I didn't have to bother Wade. He's always busy on his projects too, so I don't like to really bother him more than I have to. And I just put a couple staples, landscaping staples in the bottom here to hold it. And I hit the board up against the bottom here. So I'm trying to get that all stapled off. I have a pretty good gap on this side underneath the board. So it's critical that we get this in here to keep snakes and rats out. Okay, so we got the bottom, we got the side, and we got the first outer 2x. Okay, we're done with that. Now I need to kind of start zip tying to make sure it doesn't pull apart at the seam. And I'm going to use white where it's going to be inside the coop, but over here more where it's going to be outside. I'm going to use black, but it's snug enough. I think I won't need to put some in until I bring the next layer over the top of it, because this is laying pretty flat. I'm running out of pockets. We got me a new tool yesterday because pulling on the zip tie has been hurting my hands. See if I can figure it out. Actually, I'm going to have to do them from the inside. So I'll have to wait till I get in there. I just got to put the zip ties through. Okay, I still have a 4-foot section on that I need to fasten down, but I decided to wait till I got the front piece, and then I'll overlap that big piece with the smaller piece. So this edge piece is only 2 foot wide, and I did decide to go down the side here. At first I was just going to go to here, but I got some gaps in the wood here. So I want to make sure when I go down and then do the predator proof that I'm also predator proofing these big cracks. So that's what I'm working on now, is getting this 2-foot piece in place. And I just started on the left-hand side. Looks like it's going to be, let's see, this is a brand new roll, so there should be plenty left over. But so that's what I'm working on. So let me get all these zip ties tied down. And then I'll come back with you once I get all this screen on. Well, it's almost 6 p.m. and I'm pretty much getting tools picked up for the day. We did get all the hardware cloth over the top. I did not get it finished on the sides. Like down there, it shows how nice it's nailed down and finished and laid out. I have it all fastened down except at the bottoms on each side. I have a 4-foot piece here, and I'll need to pull that out and cut it off. And I have a 2-foot wide piece here, and I did get that nailed down on the top and side here, but I didn't want to cut it off until I got that piece cut off even with that, so then I'd cut this the right length. So it's slow going. Goes much faster. My husband came out and helped me for a while doing the zip ties. If you have somebody feeding them through the outside and the other person tying them on the inside, it goes tons faster. The same thing with, I actually did put all the rolls up there over the top myself, except for that one yesterday. But tomorrow we will be back at it, and we will finish the sides here, get that done. I will need to put predator cloth here at the front, because I don't know how well you can see that, but there is, you know, something could get underneath there. Again, snakes, rats, whatever. So I will need to put predator guard down for that. But before I do, I might do that, you know, while I have the stuff out. But I'm going to do something different with this hoop coop than I've done with my others. And I'll share that with you tomorrow. But then I'll also have 3 doors to make. 2 for the coop itself and 1 for the run here. Because I need one in the run so that when I have their big water hanging out here, I can get to it and fill it and clean it up. So again, see how uneven our property is. That's how we had to jack that up and put the 2x12 under because it was so uneven. But happy with the way that this came out. I thought about having this even with this, which is what I've always done before. But because I had the holes here, I didn't want predators getting in there, rats and stuff. So that's the only reason I came out here. I'll have to think about it. You know, I could always cut this off on this end since it's at the run. But it's not hurting anything either. So I have enough to do around here. I may just leave it. But we will continue this video tomorrow. Okay, so it is the next day, and I've been working out here for a little bit, finishing up on the other side, almost done over there, tacking everything down, including to the ground. But we've been having a lot of windy days, so Wade came out and suggested that I went ahead and do this next step while it's not windy. And what I'm doing is, for the outside run, I am spray painting the wire black. And I wanted to just kind of show you how much easier it is to see in the run, so I could see the chickens where it's been painted on this side versus where it has not been painted on this side. And it really does make a big difference. I'm not going to paint the very top. I'm only going to go as high as I showed here because there will be a tarp. Not all the way down the sides, just on the very top. Excuse me, of the run. And then that is going to be, the coop itself is going to be covered with a white tarp. So obviously I wanted all the spray painting done before I ever get around to enclosing the coop. So that is what I'm doing now. I am just going to go continue spray painting. I only have 3 cans of paint. Of course, a lot of it's just going in the air. Yes, I know I'm contaminating the grass. I have baby chicks that are going to go in here in a couple weeks. They're just going to have to stay in the coop. So I will continue to cut the grass out here and clean it up, and until it's grown out and no longer toxic to them. I'm just, that's going to have to be what I do. So they aren't going to be ready to go outside anyway, probably until spring. We will have some nice days over the winter, and I have we have a, I can't remember what you call them, but the netting, the chicken wire netting that's electrified, that I could put out that end of the door so they can actually graze in the yard itself. So I'm going to get back to it. I'm not going to film all that because honestly it'd take a lot of film for me just spray painting. But I will check back with you in a bit. Okay, well, it ended up taking 3 cans, or 2.5 cans, I think is all I had left, to do this side. And I didn't get around the front. So it's going to take quite a bit of spray paint. And then I'll still need to touch up. I see a few little spots as it's dried. And then if I want to come back from the inside, I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking I might, at least on that side, so that I can see those chickens over there. Okay, so this is the back side of the chicken coop and run, and I have gotten it buttoned up, so all the predator guards down. I do need to, at this end still, staple this and get it in there a little better. That part is not done, so I still will need to do that. Actually, I think I'll go back and do that because I'm afraid I'll forget it otherwise. And that's where they could get up underneath it and come up through the edge on the inside. So I definitely want that buttoned up too. So this is what I got done today. I got the screen on down the wood. This takes a lot of time. When I build another one, I'm not going to do it this way. Usually I just put the screen down on top here, over a little bit here, on top here and a little bit here, and then I cut it off. But I decided to try it this time, where I went all the way from one side up, in, over the top, and then the same thing on the other side, and did the predator guard all at once. Next time, especially if I have something so uneven as this, I will just, like I said, nail it to the top, and just over the top, and then do the predator guard on the bottom, and then up about 4 inches, and staple it there. This was just too hard and took way too much time. But I did get all the way, this whole side, so it is all nailed down, and it has the fabric staples in the weed fabric, or excuse me, not the weed fabric, the Predator Guard all the way. So, and then on the other side, the same thing. The Predator Guard is done all the way. There's one skinny little strip down there that I'll have to patch. Put a little piece of scrap down there. And I got most of this side spray painted. I'm not spray painting where the coop is because I don't want it darker in the coop. But this will help me to be able to see them better when they're outside. And you can tell from this side, or you know, coming through here, how much difference it is. So this will all be spray painted black too. I'll need to get several more cans. We have to go to town tomorrow, so I'll get that spray paint then. There was something else we had to get, I can't remember. Okay, so that's it for today, but not the end of the video. So most people use chicken wire for the outside, and I did on my other hoop coop, which I will eventually be replacing with the hardware cloth. The reason I went the hardware cloth this time, besides just the Predator Guard, I wanted it over the whole cage, or pen I mean, because this is much safer against possums and raccoons and snakes, all those kind of things. So that's why the smaller squares are much safer. And this is heavier wire, which made it harder for going down here also. You know, if the chicken wire was super easy to bend, but this was not. So it is way too windy today to spray paint. So I am going to start off with trying to fill the crack around the floor base so that mice cannot come up through there. I have got some mouse shield type of foam. I don't know how much it's going to take. I only have 3 cans. I was allowing 1.5 cans per crack. So we'll see how far we can get, and depends how it goes. I may have to buy more. But I got this at Menards, and it's $7.99 a can. So I'm hoping that works, because in my other hoop coop, I have mice always coming up that crack. So I'm hoping to stop that. We'll see if I can. So, okay, I forgot to turn the camera on before I started, but here we go. Got this side half done. And this has to be cured, so I have to let it completely dry before I can trim it up. This will also help to keep cold drafts from coming up on the chickens from the sides. Oh, see, one can didn't quite do one side. Because in some places it goes down in there quite a ways. Sit here so we don't make any more of a mess. Hopefully Eddie won't step in that. Oh, there's my knife. You want to watch out. I don't want you getting that in your hair. I don't want you getting that in your fur. So this stuff just has to be shook for 30 seconds. Should get cut on that already. Boy, that wind is really kicking out. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get done today, or how much you're going to hear. Wow, that's just going on the floor, on the ground, I mean. All right, I got that side. Now I need to do the same thing to the other side. Okay. Hopefully. Let's see. Trying to keep the darn leaves out and stuff. Chickens may try to eat that foam. But that's right. Oh dear. You're gonna smell them piggies today. This is the last full day the pigs are going to be here. Guess I have to screw this off. How does that work? I have some left in the can, but I can't figure out how to get the end off here because it keeps squirting out, so I'll just set it in there. Okay, so now what we have to do is just let all this dry. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show you. It just foams up, and then after this hardens, I'll come back with a knife and just trim it down so it's nice and smooth. Only really needs it where it's going to be bubbling out bigger, like over here. Oops. It's already starting to set up, I can tell. But these little bubbles like here, I'll just leave because that just helps to insulate it better. Might get the can that I have and come back and just spray a little bit more here. You know, a couple things like that, since it doesn't usually last once you use it. It pretty much dries in the straw and the trigger. So let me take care of that and then we'll move on. Okay. I worked on cutting out the door and forgot to turn the camera on. So I have it laid out. I don't have it tightened up yet because I'm going to do that after I squirt the glue in. So, let's see if I can figure out how to get this off. It's wanting to twist. The board's bowed, I guess. together. Got it screwed in every spot. So I'm just going to let that dry while I go have a sandwich, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I double checked the fit of the door to make sure it fits, and there's about a 1/2 inch gap around it to make it easy to open and close. Excuse me. Okay. I was going to put the hinges on, and then I remembered I needed to put the wire on, so I'll get this wire on first. Okay, well, I got all of the screen stapled to the first door, and I'm going to attempt to paint it while it's on the floor. It's still pretty windy. It's kind of letting up a little bit. So let's try and get this done. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for now. It won't take long as hard as the wind is blowing. I can see it drying pretty fast. Oh. And then we'll get the hinges on and get it up. Well, today I painted this part of the cage, outside and inside of this wall, and built the door, put the hardware on, and then I painted the hardware because it was a bright silver and I didn't like the looks of it, so I went ahead and just spray painted it too. And once I got the door hung, I went ahead and painted the back side of the door. Oh, I still got some touch up to do on the bottom here. I forgot to finish it. And this morning I did the insulation in the cracks floor of the side of each side. it's just the two sides. The front and the back doesn't have that crack in it. It's where the Eddie Hush. It's where the cattle panels go down behind it, and that causes a crack. So I did buy the mouse resistant foam, and that'll help to keep from getting so many breeze. Keep it a little warmer too, because I am going to put chicks in there. I have chicks and eggs in the incubator right now. They have less than 2 weeks to go, so I need to get on the stick here and get this done. I'm really excited the way that's coming out. I think it's going to have a contemporary kind of look when I'm done, because the outside part that you'll see is all going to be black. The wires and the framing. Excuse me. And the tarps are going to be white. So excited to see what that looks like. We're getting down there. I have 2 more doors to build. One for the coop, main coop, and one for the run. I'm going to make the coop one first, because if I have to, I can always work on the run once the chicks are in there. But I'm trying to get the whole thing done. So, last thing I'm going to work on this evening is finish this one spray can of spray paint. Here on this trim. The wind's blowing so much it's blowing it. So I'm having a little bit of tough time. Looks like I already painted the wires. I just didn't get the wood. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. It's blowing too much to do that. That direction it's not, because it's blowing it on it, but that direction it's blowing away from it. So I'm wasting too much paint. So tomorrow morning we're taking the hogs in for processing, and then I'll get back on it. Okay, it's another day, and we're getting down to it. So I need to cut off the foam, so I'm going to go ahead and work on that. And then I didn't record it, but day before, I didn't get a chance to work on it yesterday. It rained all day. So day before yesterday, let me show you what I got accomplished that I didn't record. And that is, I got this end, which is the coop end, all painted. And then I got the inside done at the other end painted. So then I got the doors, the cut, and I just laid it out just a couple minutes ago here. So this door will be the external door here for the coop. And then I have wood for the run end of the coop cut out at the other end. So trying to get all this painting done. It's pretty cool this morning, so with all the rain we had yesterday, we had 2 inches of rain. So that's a lot of rain. And my wood got wet. So I thought, well, I laid out the door. I'm going to screw it together here shortly. Well, actually, maybe I should do that first before I cut the foam. And that way I can get it hung and it can be drying. Okay, so it is another day. Yesterday I was not able to work on the chicken coop at all. It rained all day, or a good part of it, and it's been soaked. We did get 2 inches of rain between the night before last and half of yesterday. So that's quite a bit of rain. We needed it. So glad to have it, but unfortunately when you're doing this kind of projects, it kind of puts a monkey wrench in your plans. So a couple things that I wrapped up day before yesterday that I didn't show you on video. So, this is the door pieces for this end. So they're all pre-cut. I just need to lay them out inside when I get done with the other door over there, and screw them together so I have a nice flat surface to do it on. I did finish painting the inside wire over here and most of the back over here. I have some touch-ups to do, but I only have a couple paint cans left, so I'm kind of holding off on that. I have these two doors yet to paint, and I have this side yet to paint. So I'm going to end up having to buy more paint, because the tarp's going to come to here, and I need all this painted black so that I'm not getting black all over my white tarp. So I will need to get that done. So this looks really nice when it's painted, and it is easier to see through, but honestly it added so much cost and time to this project. It was a learning experience, something I did once, but I won't do it again because it adds too much cost. Then I need to come back and cut all this back, both inside and out, to smooth it out a little bit. And I went and checked this morning on the linoleum that I have, and if I had any extra. I thought I had some in the garage, a piece, but I can't find any anywhere. I think I already used it in the last coop. And I had bought a 6x8 piece for this coop because originally it was going to be 2 foot shorter and more run. I can't remember what happened that I ended up doing 8 foot. So anyway, I'm going to have to get another remnant. And then what I'll do is I'll overlap it. So this side over here is going to be where the eggs are so that they won't have the sun shining on them. And then the other side will be where the roosts are. So the black here looks pretty good. It could use a little touch up, but I'm not going to be worried about that since I need to get other stuff done. Again, I need to get this trimmed up down here along the bottom. I did get this end painted yesterday and I did not video it. Not yesterday, the day before. Again, has a couple spots that could be touched up. It's a little light here and stuff like that. And I painted it on the inside too. So that day I also pre-cut the wood for both of the 2 remaining doors. And then this morning I just laid this one out. So it is ready to screw together. It's pretty chilly this morning, so I think it may be too cold to use the wood glue. Although I can feel it's warming up. It was only 59 when I came out, which is still pretty brisk. A little too cool for painting usually, or for the glue. So okay, let's get this door screwed together. Oh, it is warming up. I can take my jacket off now, it feels like. Okay, I need to get my measuring tape and pencil because I forgot to mark for the middle bar. Okay, so I'm trying to lay out the wire now on the screen on the door. And I'm overlapping it just a little on the top and on the opening side. And what that does, that helps to seal where there's a little crack around the top and where I open it so that rats cannot come in through there. I messed up on the interior door and I need to go back and add a little strip so that they can't. Because I'm going to have baby chicks in here in a few days and I don't want them being able to get them. Okay. Trying to keep it even all the way around here. And we're just going to work it from the top of the door down. Alrighty. I'm going to wait to put the latch on until I get the door hung. So let me set you up outside the door so hopefully you can see. Okay. To keep the door off the very bottom so there's plenty of room to open and close it, I'm going to put these screws in here. Just set them in here. And that will hold it off the very bottom. Okay, so for latches on my chicken coops, I always like the gate latches. I stick a, not a cotter key, but I'll think of it. I can't think of it right now. I'll show you in a bit, to lock it. So the first time I did this, I put it on upside down because that didn't look right to me. And I was thinking it was here and you locked it, but that's not correct. So make sure that you have it to where it goes like this, it rests over here, and then when you put your pin through there or your ring, it locks it to where it can't come forward. And nothing, the door won't come open so your chickens don't get out. Now, I'm not locking it with a padlock, but you could put a padlock through there if you deem necessary. I don't have any trouble out here, so I haven't come to that yet. Hopefully it never does. See, and then this will go on the door. And when the door closes, it goes like that. And then you just lift up and open the door. So uh-oh. I'm gonna put this about this height. Let's see, do I need to put it over here? Nope. Okay. I may end up having to add a little board here for some reason. Why is that? Oh. Make sure I'm putting in the right spot. There, that looks good. So I always do one upper corner first, and then I straighten it up. I don't tighten that upper corner up yet, because I have to have wiggle room to adjust. Okay, that looks right. No, it looks too far out that way. There we go. One of the things that would really help with that is if you pre-drill the holes with a smaller drill bit. Okay. Now, what do I do with them other screws? Put this bit. Oh, right here. we go. Working latch. All right, so another door hung. It just needs painted and then it will be done. Oh, I wanted to show you. Well, here they call them a sportsman's gear clip, but that's not whatever I've called them, but a D clip, I think they're called too. So, and I put this on all the doors. In the wintertime, I don't use the coop end door over there on my big coop, hoop coop. And so I actually put a screw at the bottom to make sure big animals can't get it open or anything. But that's only because I had coyotes try to get in it in the spring and it scared me. Okay. So then it just goes like that. Let's get a close up and see if you can see that. So, and that keeps it from opening. Okay, so the last thing I need to do here is drill a hole to put a wire through that's going to attach through this little hole here. There's a little hole there. Hopefully you can see that on the side there. Because guess what happens when these close and lock? You can't push it open from the inside and you'll lock yourself in. I made the mistake of using string on one last year and I got locked in my coop for an hour before somebody heard me yelling. So wire it is. And I'm going to drill a hole up from this, about a foot usually. Oh, this one don't have a battery on it, I forgot. Brought the battery out for it, but forgot to put it on it. Much better. So I'm just going to drill a hole about a foot up. Ooh. Okay, feels like we went through. Yep. Okay. And that is something I'll want to get on there pretty quick because I don't like being locked inside. So I drilled a hole on the other one, but I don't think the hole was big enough, so I'll have to go back and enlarge that hole. In the meantime, I'm going to put this key through so it can't lock, because I don't want to lock myself out here. My husband's not in shouting distance always, so that way I won't lock myself while I'm working here. Okay, now it's really warmed up, so I'm going to get my tools out of the way here and go ahead and get this door painted. I'm just going to go ahead and paint the whole door, including the hardware. If I can get the cap off. And I'm just using this little handle from Rust-Oleum. It makes it easier to spray paint. It's a trigger handle instead of, especially with my arthritis. Eddie, you're going to have to move. You're going to get spray paint all over you. Nope, get back. Okay, that finishes that door. So I'm going to do the same thing, same exact thing, lay it on the floor, work it for the door at the other end. I'm not going to record that since I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm tired. It's been a long day. So here's what I got done today. So we got this door hung and painted and hardware all on it. Inside and out it's painted. So this end is done other than touch up. I see I need to touch up mainly on the door. I'll need to touch up a little paint on this side, but other than that it's all done. I got the other door to the coop, to the run, hung. That one took me quite a while. This board is slanted, so it presented me with the challenge of, but I finally got all the hardware straightened out. And the door mostly painted on this side. It's not painted at all on the other side. I ran out of paint, so I'll need to pick up another 2-3 cans of paint. 2 should be enough. Because I just need to do the door and then some touch-up. I used most of can of paint to finish the back side of the run painting so that it's all done, so that I can get ready to put the white tarp on. I did not get this side of the coop trimmed on the outside. I got the foam on the inside all trimmed up and on the other side. So it's coming along. And I'm running out of time, so I have to keep at it to get it done. So tomorrow's another day. So the chicken coop is finally finished. So I have the tarp on, and I just add these straps for extra protection. It really would hold down with these screws and washers. But just in case it gets real windy and stuff, it just is added protection. So as we come into the coop, I have linoleum, and this is 2 6x8 foot remnant pieces you get from Home Depot. Yes, they don't match perfectly, but guess what? It's going to be covered up by bedding anyway. The reason I like to put a floor in my coops and the linoleum, it gets them up off the direct ground, especially when I'm raising chicks. And this is going to be the coop for the American breast chickens. And guess what? My chicks just hatched out. So I'll show you that in a moment. And I got 8 American breasts and 8 more Easter egger chicks. And so those will all go in here until they're grown out. And then the Easter eggers, any hens, will be added to my other coop. I really am liking the white tarp because it does let light in, unlike other dark tarps. So that's a good thing. The thing I don't like is when I find these on the internet, they're not true to size. I ordered a 12 by 16 and a 16 by 20, and the 12 by 16 should have worked 16 foot going over, and it was a foot short. So that was very disappointing because they were not cheap. And these don't appear to be any heavier than my other tarps, and they're supposed to be super heavy duty. So it is what it is. So we have the 3 doors. We have a middle door that's 2 doors in the coop, one on each side. One goes into the run. And of course, before I can put the chicks out here, because of the time of the year it is, I will need to put wood on the doors and wood on the ends. I'm not going to show that in this video because for all intensive purposes, this coop is finished. So I think it really looks sharp with the black and the white. I do still have to put predator guard down on this one end. Most of the other predator guard is down. And then this is from the run end. So you can see what that looks like. Eddie. Hush, hush. So I will need to add a little piece of predator guard right over here because I don't want them digging down under that corner. And that will be overlapped with these 2 pieces. It feels so good to have this project finally done. So if you're enjoying this type of video, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share our videos on your social media. It's the best way you can help our channel to grow. Thank you so much for watching Jimmy Branch Homestead. Take care and God bless.